Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Rachel Garceau with this First Alert Weather Plus forecast on kind of a wild week of weather coming our way, especially coming off of the gorgeous Sunday we enjoyed. What a kickoff to daylight saving time with those temperatures in near record territory. But starting Monday, we have a roller coaster ride of temperatures coming our way this week. I think wind will actually end up being our biggest headline of the week, as despite what the temperature might read, we will see breezy to blustery winds every afternoon from Monday, potentially through Friday, even into the weekend. But in the middle of all of that, very little precipitation is expected, at least here in southern Idaho. That'll be a different story for our neighbors to the west. So let's talk first about that roller coaster ride of temperatures. So remember, we were in the 60s on Sunday. Our first cool down comes in Monday. That takes us to the 50s. Tuesday, though, is our first alert weather day because of highs only in the 40s. That is short-lived, as we'll rebound right back to the 60s by Thursday. And then look at this. This is our 10-day temp trend. And remember, in the world of meteorology, 10 days is pretty far out, but still our long-range outlooks are putting us into the 70s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. Take that with a grain of salt, but I do think the return of the 60s by the end of this work week looks very likely. So we have to get through Tuesday first, though. That is going to be our most brisk and blustery day. Thursday will bring in some more blustery winds as well, but temperatures won't be as cold, so that will be a little bit more bearable. So Tuesday, expect those winds area-wide, temperatures tumbling by a good 20 degrees from Sunday to Tuesday. That's why this day will be such a shock to the system. We will see some very light precipitation, but isolated to the west central mountains. Little to no accumulation, especially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We may see a few inches stacking up here and there by the end of the work week on into the weekend. So on Tuesday in particular, make sure you layer up those outdoor activities, whether it's work or play. You will definitely feel that chill in the air. High profile vehicles will need to make sure they're really paying attention to the wind speeds every afternoon this week, as gusts of 35 to even 45 miles per hour are possible from Wednesday through Friday. And secure any loose outdoor objects that you want to stay outside your home. If it's trash day this week, again, watch those wind speeds at 35 mile per hour wind gust. That can topple an empty trash bin. I'm not seeing winds that will become damaging necessarily, but certainly a nuisance to hairstyles and anything you plan to do outside for the next several days. So here's that big picture setup of what's taking shape this week. So cool down number one on Monday, courtesy of a cold front that will march in from the northwest. That will open the door to a reinforcing shot of colder air that will drop in from southern Canada on Tuesday. That will bring us that shot of much colder air. But we start warming up again on Wednesday, as we still have high pressure kind of waiting in the wings. And so that will start directing milder air our way Wednesday, Thursday. But this system, this low pressure system and the Canadian cooler air mass will also be just hovering to our northeast. So in between these two features, we will see that wind continue to be impactful, as our surface pressure gradient will just remain tightened up as air flows in between those two weather features. So let's time out that front on Monday, and I'll show you the precipitation. Very little. This is a very unimpressive start to the week as far as precipitation goes. So late Monday morning, you can see a few light snow showers in our very far northern zones for our viewing area. We are dry and clear across southern Idaho, so still lots of sunshine on Monday, but colder temperatures. The wind whips up Monday afternoon. Here comes that colder air from the north that will likely trigger another round of very light snow Tuesday morning across the central mountains. Across the northwest, not a lot of precipitation yet, but as I let us roll forward into Wednesday, we start seeing a fire hose of moisture, or atmospheric river, that will really turn the tap onto the Pacific Northwest. So as we look at the Cascades of Washington and the mountains of north central and northern Idaho, plenty of snow there, but that high pressure I talked about that's just kind of lurking down to the southwest will be far enough north that it will direct this storm track up and around southern Idaho. So let's talk about the snow potential across the Cascades. Look at this from Monday through Friday, especially Wednesday through Friday. We could see in the highest elevations of the Cascades of Washington state 3 to 5 feet of snow, The mountains of north central and northern Idaho, 2 to 3 feet is possible. What a boost for the snowpack this late in the season. Unfortunately, the news isn't quite as good for our mountains here in central Idaho. We could see 6 to 12 inches above 6,000 feet, mostly Wednesday through Friday. 12 inches may be generous. We'll see how it shakes out, but look at this. Notable, of course, across southern Idaho. No snow expected, of course. Will be too warm for that. And as we look at precipitation, which for us would be be rain. Nothing expected through Friday. We will likely see about 3/4 of an inch of total precipitation in places like McCall. That will likely translate to a couple inches of snow from Wednesday through Friday. Look at the rain potential, though, for Seattle and Portland, 2 to 4 inches of rain expected. Could be a little bit of snow in the mornings off and on, but I think rain becomes the bigger headline for western Washington. I do think we'll start hearing about some flooding concerns by the end of this work week as that atmospheric river just continues to pummel western Washington and the I-5 corridor. Meantime, across the Treasure Valley, you can see we stay dry with those first 2 pushes of colder air. Then we have some weak shortwave systems that start rolling through mostly to our north Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but close enough to the Boise area that we may have some splash and dash showers coming in off and on for those several days. You can see nothing here is a washout. Most areas likely stay dry and temperatures will be warm. We saw that 10-day outlook. Highs will be in the low 60s over the coming weekend. So I'm not anticipating any snow across the lower elevations of southern Idaho, but we could see just a little bit of rain coming in, even though it will be a warm weekend. So let's talk about the tumbling temperatures early in the week. So remember, we hit the mid-60s on Sunday in Boise and Twin Falls. By Monday, we're in the 50s. Look at Seattle and Portland, highs only in the mid to upper 40s. That cold air having a big impact there. On Tuesday, this will be by far our coldest day of the week. 45 in Boise, 42 in Twin Falls and Idaho Falls. McCall drops below freezing, so snow levels down as low as about 4,000 feet by Monday morning into Tuesday, but we just won't see much in the way of precipitation. But anything that does fall Tuesday morning will be some very light snow across our central mountains. And as we look ahead to Wednesday, we already start rebounding back into the mid-50s across the Snake River Plain, mid-30s for McCall, Lewiston back up to 50 degrees, and along the west coast back up to 50 for Seattle and Portland as well. Again, as that high pressure to the southwest, it will be sending that milder air our way, but you can still see colder air up to the northeast. And so remember, between those two features, we will continue to stay breezy to blustery depending on location every afternoon. Windiest east of Boise, that is typically the case, and that will be the case this week as well. But I think we'll see breezy winds everywhere from Monday through Friday. As we look at the mountain outlook, we do have pretty high precipitation chances, especially from Wednesday, Thursday on into Friday. But look at temperatures, places like McCall into the 40s Thursday and Friday afternoon. Morning lows will not dip below freezing, so that shows you just how high those snow levels are. Best chance of snow, I think, for places like Long Valley will be Wednesday, as those temperatures early Wednesday into the teens, highs only in the mid-30s. So this is where we could tack on maybe an inch or so of snow, maybe a little bit more depending on how fast and furious the snow falls. But by Thursday with warming temperatures, I think it's mostly a rain-snow mix. So any snow that does accumulate in McCall likely is gone by the end of the work week. As we look at the Magic Valley, Tuesday is a first alert day for Twin Falls as well, because highs only hit 41 degrees starting off below freezing. This is going to be a very raw day, even though there's no precipitation anticipated. Most of our day will be in the 30s with those brisk northwesterly winds. So definitely a day to have the winter coat on hand. We will not kick the wind all week long. Thursday, I think we see another uptick. So this may end up seeing our gustiest winds of the week, maybe 40 to 45 miles per hour. But look at temperatures, 65 degrees by Thursday, and we stay in the 60s in Twin Falls all the way through the weekend, even with that chance of a rain shower popping into the picture Saturday and Sunday. And 7-day outlook for the Boise area looks very similar to the Magic Valley. First cool down comes in Monday. Winds turn blustery Monday evening, cool and breezy on Tuesday, starting off at 29 degrees. Wind chill Tuesday morning will be bitter. On Wednesday, still below freezing early on, still a bit breezy, but look at those high temperatures back to the 50s midweek. We hit the 60s again on Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies, breezy through the weekend. Yes, some showers become possible Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but above average conditions look likely to continue through the weekend and into early next week. That'll do it for this First Alert Weather Plus forecast. We'll see you next time.